Ness has got his own Undertaker to think about. He's got a Senpai made. He's got his little bit of life boost that he can give to his Swimsuit Irie in the third slot of his hand. He's got his Terra Sancta Nurse that he can throw out there to be a sponge for some damage, and he's got his Bondage card in the first slot. A lot of people on the stream were saying that the safe word was made, I believe, for the Bondage card. That's a fair assessment to make. We love maids here.
Who doesn't love maids? I mean, they're great. They clean up. You don't have to clean up. They do it for you. French maids are good too, though. But again, I mean, you mentioned that Bondage in the first slot. And, a theme of chains going on here. Maybe we're getting a little insight into some of Ness's off-campus activities. Who knows? But really, at this point, it's just crazy. I mean, everything around here is just really nuts as far as what's going on. I mean, it's like, it's 15-22 right now, but again, it may seem like it's a 7-point lead. The 7-point lead is nothing. It could be a 17-point lead, and we've seen it swing the opposite way. Genius Student and I is still sitting out there. Undertaker is still doing her stuff. We even got a Senpai made. We're seeing a lot of rare cards thrown out. And speaking of thrown out, there goes Genius Student and I. As I said, we're still seeing a lot of rare cards thrown out there.
Yes, a lot of rares being thrown out back and forth among these two combatants. Ness he's got to realize that this could be the end, man. This is the match point if he loses. He's pacing in the room right now. He's not even sitting in his chair. Every single move that he makes, he is carefully trying to calculate, trying to think ahead of what his opponent's going to do. Right now he's sitting at size 10, so he can't play anything. He's standing up just thinking what is going to happen. It looks like Delita has played 3 additional cards. That could be tricky. If the card in the 4th slot is a follower, it could get slid down into the 5th slot and be gone, and it looks like Delita knew that. Played his Meadow Leisure in slot 4. He's got his Shrink in slot 2, hoping to cut down Undertaker and get her out of here as soon as possible. Of course, he is trying to maintain his lead. Senpai Maid buffing herself up a little bit. Looks like the Meadow Leisure buffed up the Nanasid in slot 3, Nanasid in slot 2, taking a little bit of damage, retaliating that damage back to the Terra Sancta Nurse. Shrink, of course, taking Undertaker down, bringing her defense to 0. Her attack's looking pretty low, her stam's looking pretty low. Nanasid throws a debuff her way as well. Her attack is super low at this point. All that snowballing that she's done is gone, and she is knocked out of the game. There we go, people. 2 Undertakers down. We are only in turn 5. Oh man, Senpai Maid gone as well from slot 3 of Ness. He's got the Terra Sancta Nurse, who's just really there to absorb damage, not deal damage. And Ness is down 10-16. What is he going to do? His Swimwear Irie slides down that Nanasid that was in slot 3 to slot 4, and now he's got to choose his cards very wisely.
Again, I mean, this is just crazy. You're seeing Delita. He's just leaning so heavily on that Genius Student, or the Insomniac Nanasid. He loves that card. He speaks very highly of that 2-attack debuff that she pulls off. He's very, very big on debuffing attack. We've always preached, hey, defense is the most important stat. But he's always one going, hey, no, it's attack. If they can't attack, they can't hit you. Doesn't matter how good your defense is.
There you see Sister's Letter throwing some debuffs on those Nanasids, and Empowering Chant giving some buffs back. Terra Sancta Nurse sitting in slot 2, getting knocked out. She served her purpose. She took a lot of damage for her team. Ness's follower retaliating on that Nanasid, taking her out, bringing down Delita's life to 16, and now taking out the other follower in slot 4, bringing it down to 14. So we are at 8-14. Anybody's game. This is still up for grabs, people. Oh, and we see the Mother Demon Rumor. We see Forced Confinement, another Nanasid, a Spell Swap, and another Mother Demon Rumor, another one in the first slot. So Ness has seen those Mother Demon Rumors quite a bit in this final showcase, and he has not been able to really use them. We haven't seen much execution out of him regarding those cards. They are very situational, but it would be amazing if he could put one of them to good use.
Yeah, I mean, in order to use that card, it requires your opponent to have 2 cards in slot 1 and 2 that equal a size 6 or higher. We haven't seen Delita play cards like that. Typically, if he plays a higher sized card, he tries to put it in slot 3 or slot 4. He knows those 2 Mother Demon Rumors are out there, and he's patterning his gameplay and his card placement to try and keep Ness from using that. And so far, it's been pretty successful.
Yes, we see student leader Lena sitting in slot 2 for Delita, and she is taking quite a punishment, but she is holding on for dear life. It looks like Delita's a little comfortable right now. He's got the lead 7 life to 14. There could be a balance coming his way, but he doesn't seem to be anticipating it whatsoever. He's confident in his skills. He's got one follower out there getting slid from slot 2 to slot 3, as you see from Swimwear Irie. Such an amazing character card to have, guaranteeing that the opponent's followers that they have on the field will not stick around for that long. And now Ness has the balance. He could play balance to bring himself back into this game, even up the score, and he does. That is going to bring all of the cards on the field to an even number. Remember, balance counts itself as a card, so it would be 3 cards that it will utilize. If Delita decides to play something in slot 4, it will most likely get wiped. That's assuming that everything's going to be a follower, and Ness wins the coin toss. We shall see what happens right about now. Got an Empowering Chant, slot 1, got a Crescent Conundrum in slot 2, and student leader Lena still hanging on in slot 3.
I was really wondering if Delita was actually going to play anything. He knows Ness is sitting on balance. You figure now would be a good time to use it. So if he just left student leader Lena out there, that would have meant that Ness was sitting on 3 cards in the field. 2 of them were going to have to go. So it could have been an easy way to get rid of 2 of his cards pretty quickly without having to really get into a fight with him. Again, I mean, these 2 guys it's like a heavyweight fight. They're just blow to blow, back and forth. I haven't seen something this exciting since the last Rocky movie I watched.
Yes, and we do all love those Rocky movies here. Oh man, Crescent Conundrum gets slid down from slot 2 to slot 4. I'm sure Ness would have hoped that student leader Lena would have been slid down instead, but you never really know who Swimwear Irie is going to slide down, especially when you have cards that are so similar in appeal, both of them size 1. You really have no idea which one is going to get slid. We really don't know. We've got that sense of belonging there. Ness looks like he's trying to steal something right now. He's hovering over it, contemplating whether or not he's going to play it. Actually, he can't at the moment. Sense of belonging is size 4, and he's got size 8 on the field, so he's just going to have to hold on to that. He could be playing Shield Break if he wanted to, but it doesn't look like that's even an option for him in his mind. Oh, and Delita decides to play Shrink. That is going to cut down the follower in slot 3. They are brought down to only... Oh, man. Oh, wow. Ness is not... Oh, he ends up taking that away from Delita. Now it's 9 to 10. Student leader Lena still holding on in the 3rd slot. She's going to retaliate damage, and both of the followers are going to live. Oh, retaliation and her own attack still alive. Looks like student leader Lena is going to take a little bit of damage of her own. She still hangs on, and it is just a back and forth battle. We are at 9 health to 10 health. Once again, folks, coming down to the wire.
Yeah, that Shrink that Delita played really actually backfired on him, thanks to Ness's smart play of using that swap card, and the coin toss. I mean, the coin toss went to Delita first, so his spell card activated and was able to knock that card down. And the very next turn, you had Ness, who had the swap, who actually just took his stats back, or actually not took his stats back, but took stats from the other one and dumped his poor stats right back on to Delita. So again, he's still playing his small cards. We're still seeing these low numbers thrown out there, these low sizes. I mean, that's really been a key to keeping him in the game. He hasn't had too many large size cards being knocked out. Again, also, don't forget, foreign student Cinia has a little hand in that, because depending on the first card in your hand at the start of the turn, she may actually drop the size of your cards. I believe it's a Dark Lore card that if you have in slot 1, it'll drop the size of one of your cards.
So right now it is neck and neck. We have 2 student leader Lenas going back and forth attacking. Delita student leader Lena sitting in slot 4. Ness is hoping that at the end of this turn, if she is still alive, she will get slid down to slot 5 and get taken out of the game completely. Is it going to happen? No, it doesn't happen. She decides to hang on for another turn. That is played great to Delita's much to Delita's liking, I'm sure. Ness has 2 shield breaks that he could be using here. He's got 2 sense of belongings. Is he going to steal anything? No, it looks like he's just going to play that shield break. He's not going to try and take anything. If he were to take Delita's, by chance, take Delita, Student Leader Lena, have two of them on his side, that would be incredible, but he's counting on his Swimsuit Irie to take Student Leader Lena and throw her out of the game completely to tip the scales back in his favor, but there is a chance that she might not. She might take that Nonacid. She might also take his follower in slot 2. We really don't know what's about to happen here.
Another thing you'll notice that if say for example, if he had taken both shield breaks, or shield break and the sense of belonging, there was a chance the shield break would have gone off first and knocked the defense down on one of those characters. Then the sense of or followers, and the sense of belonging, if it took that follower that lost the defense, it's basically backfired on himself, and he's put himself at a really big disadvantage.
Oh, once again, people, it is getting so close. This is what it's all about. Ness on blast. He is on his last legs right now. He is doing anything he can to stay in this tournament. He has got to climb back and win 3 games in a row. This is a huge deficit for him, and it looks like his student leader, Lena, is pushing 21 stamps. She just refuses to leave. Oh, man, and her swimwear Irie does not move Delita's student leader Lena from slot 4 into slot 5. But Ness uses bondage. He's going to use bondage. We will see if this plays out the way he wants it to. I can't believe that Delita's student leader Lena is still in slot 4 and not moved to slot 5. She has hung in there way longer than we usually see her do.
Again, I mean, part of the strategy, you noticed the hand before, it seems that Ness just keeps getting spell cards. Luckily, and that's all that's happening. He doesn't have a lot of followers to play. Luckily, though, student leader Lena, well, she buffs herself based on the number of cards you have on your hand, just plain cards. So to play the only one spell card, she's going to get a 4 stam buff, which is really going to help keep her in, especially with that 2 armor or 2 defense. So really, she just has to keep chipping away at her opponents, and hopefully she can, every time she gets attacked, she gets that +4, so it's going to keep her alive.
Also make note that Ness's follower in slot 3 has held on with quite a bit of stam for a while, but is currently at 0 attack, cannot hurt anyone, but his student leader Lena in slot 1 in the 20s as far as stamina is concerned, while Ness's student leader Lena, while Delita's student leader Lena is hanging on in slot 4. Maybe she'll get moved out of the game finally. There she goes. Finally moved from slot 4 to slot 5. Delita down to 4 HP, Ness at 9, but this does not mean it is over. Delita has been at 1 HP before and kept cool, calm, and collected and won this game. We see Ness has 2 sense of belongings. He can do a little bit of theft right now, people, if he wants to, and he decides to go for it. He is anticipating that Delita is going to play a big follower, and he is going to take that and use it to his advantage. He's also got a heal for his own character. He's also got a Sister's Letter that he can play and a shield break. Oh, and it doesn't look like Delita played anything big.
No, once again, just sticking with those real small cards, just kind of hang in there. With only 4 character life left, not going to do a whole lot. I think he may actually realize he's probably not going to win this game, and is just trying to see if he can throw something out there, throw something at the wall, see whatever sticks.
Yes, as long as Ness's student leader Lena continues to snowball her health like that, she is going to be here for quite some time. Granted, she doesn't have the most attack in the world, but when she's pushing 32, which has got cut down to 27 health, with that much health, I mean, what else do you need to do? You can have her in there, you can throw out some debuff cards, and Ness can play his shield break to debuff as well as his Sister's Letter. He can continue to take cards with his sense of belonging. He can heal his own character with the 3rd card that he has in his hand. He's also got that Blue Moon Becky Felina, but I don't even think he should really play it. He's sitting okay right now. The Blue Moon Becky does have 14 stam, though. That's another thing that he could utilize to just keep him in the game, just outlast Delita. I mean, Delita may eventually run out of cards to pull, and that might be the end of the game. He decides to play the Blue Moon Becky, he decides to play the heal for his own character, and he decides to play the Sister's Letter debuffs for his opponent, buffs for himself, and more stamina.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting really close to a point where we may actually see somebody just get decked, just run out of cards, and that'll be the end of it. I think that's kind of what Delita is hoping for, is he can just hang on to the point to where Ness just no longer has any more cards to play. We're getting really close to that point, but unfortunately, Delita's just creeping down there as well as far as cards left in his deck. So, I mean, at this point, again, you're seeing all sorts of things fly back and forth. characters getting or followers getting taken out of the field, getting hit and removed and defeated, and it's still a really close game once again.
Yes, it looks like we might be on the verge of seeing what happened a few games ago. If the follower in slot 3 and slot 1 for Delete to get taken down, he will once again be at 1 HP. He has been here before. He has had his back up against the wall. Ooh, and it looks like that Pinot Noir got moved from slot 2 to slot 4. If she gets moved from slot 4 to slot 5 in the next turn, it is game